All right. I want to talk about, kind of like some self love, self care, after dealing with narcissists and so forth and so on, Um, I talk a lot about taking inventory, right? And making sure that, you have people around you that truly got your back going through this, right? As you know, you can't just go talk to anyone about this when you're coming out of this type of stuff with a narcissist. A lot of people don't get it. A lot of people have no understanding of what you're talking about, or they are, a lot of the ways in which they were brought up or whatnot does not account for the malevolent nature of how narcissistic people are. So a lot of you who tried therapy, right? A lot of you who came up in the church and whatnot, had gotten married, you're pushed to continue to stay with the narcissist. So when you go to those type of people for advice, not that it's wrong, they just don't know. You're gonna get talked into being with the narcissist. They're gonna push you more into actually staying with the narcissist, which is not what you want to do. They're gonna, you know, talk you into making it work, or try to get you to see the point of what you may need to do to keep and stay loyal to your commitment with that person. And believe it or not, folks, I'm not going to say all, but a lot of them are in those same toxic situations. And because of their belief systems and how they came up, they don't bother to get out of it. They will live on and live their life with a toxic individual and still try to maintain it. You know, I've seen stuff and heard of people saying that red flags, you got to work through the red flags. To run is cowardice. To want to run away from something is being a coward. Stand in, stick to it. It'll work itself out. No, what usually ends up happening is the person becomes part of the facilitating of their own demise and their own captivity with this toxic person, because they didn't escape when it was time to, because they didn't take heed to the red flags when things were going on, showing them that they should make an exit. This is what happens. This is what goes on. And many times, again, this this can be, it could be devastating. People people tend, to lose themselves after a while, lose their whole identity with these type of people in the name of going and associating and getting advice from people who don't have an understanding of the nature of how these individuals work. It's just bad advice to ignore red flags. And I'm serious. There's people who actually will say, stick through it. If you run from it, you'll be running all your life. And that's not true. Certain situations are just not meant for you to include yourself in or be in. That's bottom line. That's just what it is. And if you try, the more you try, the more devastating the end is when it inevitably comes. All right. You have to surround yourself with people who are very practical, who have an adept understanding of these things from multiple perspectives, right? Who are good people in character and so forth. But it's important to be able to recognize that so that you're not putting yourself in a position or a predicament that is gonna, give the opposition an advantage over you, because those type of people will use all the talking points from the very people that you're going to, or the very religion, so forth, that you are associated with, to basically fuel your demise, to keep you locked in with them, to brainwash you even more. Knowing when they're going to these marriage counselings, they have no intent on getting right or correcting anything. It's a shit show. They're in there pretending. You start getting the finger pointing game going on. They're deflecting, blaming, projecting, the whole nine. Nothing ever goes anywhere. Or you get the one where they're faking, they're going along with it. Okay, I'm going to use this advice. I'm going to take this advice. And then 3-4 days later, after the counseling session, it's right back to the same stuff. Then you go your next week, you're just wasting money, because the whole thing is to stall you out long enough so that you keep playing this game of, okay, well, I'm gonna get better next time. I'm gonna start trying this. I mean, I didn't trust the therapist. Let's change this therapist. Let's go to another person. All of these are stall tactics. But what more so importantly, it gets you, the deeper you go in this and you're spending money and it drags you in deeper into a level of you've committed way too far out to let go at a certain point, because you've invested this money, you didn't get married and all this other stuff. And now it's like, what do you do now when it's done? And this is from taking the wrong advice. Listening to the wrong advice will get you caught up badly with the narcissist if you're not moving in a certain way to deal with them. They're going to try to get you to convince you that what you're seeing and how you're thinking about things in a relationship is wrong. That's all manipulation, folks. When you clearly can see something and this is one thing I want you to understand. When because when you're hearing this, you're getting information on how to deal with toxic individuals, specifically narcissists. When you know the answers, you don't allow someone to talk you out of the right answer. That makes no sense. You already know what you should do, but you allow them to convince you to second guess yourself. And that is a major mistake that a lot of you end up committing and doing while you're with these individuals and stuff goes awry. Listening to the wrong individuals in regards to how this works and what you should do, man, it goes awry. And here's the thing. Everyone is not in position to do no contact. right? So for those of you who can do no contact, move on, done deal. Very good for you. And I hope you're able to stay in a position of no contact. You've done it. You've won. But for those of you who are struggling with the no contact, or for those of you who are not in position to do no contact, you have to know how to move, and you have to move wisely, and you have to get wise advice. You can't go out there just winging it with individuals who are professionally toxic, because this is what they do all day, in and out, all day long, 24/7, 365 days a year. That is what they are. They're going to be good at that. They're going to know how to stay 5 to 10 steps ahead of you, predict what you're going to do and say, and what you're going to, your next move, how you're going to feel, and all these things. You can't go in shucking and jiving with those type of individuals, especially getting the wrong advice. You can't do it. Make sure you got solid people around you, and trust in your knowledge that you've acquired. When you see the red flags, when you see the signs, don't second guess it. Don't allow someone else to convince you otherwise and talk you out of what you already know. All right. Anyway, folks, thank you for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe. Have a good one.